I have a Phoenix Model Sukhoi SU-31 for you today. This is my brand new plane, just picked it up. It's got a 55-inch wingspan and it's 48 inches long. It's around 5 to 6 pounds. It's a 4-channel. It has 5 servos. Recommended engine for this is a 40 to a 4.6 and a 4-stroke 48 to a 5.3. Propeller 10x6 to 12x7, and I'm going to do an unboxing vid today and show you how to put it together. And once we get done doing that, I'm sure I'll have plenty of flight footage for you. Alright, we got the box open here. You get a big sticker sheet. You get your how-to booklet on how to put it together, which is nice, which proves that you don't need me, but hopefully for somebody researching this plane, this video helps. You got your rudder and elevator. They do have pretty big throws, which are nice, so it should be pretty maneuverable. Wings. Fuselage. Nice big red cowling. This is fiberglass. It's got a nice paint to it. The wheel hubs here. And all the rest of the stuff to put her together. I'm going to get all this stuff unwrapped and then I'll give you a closer look. Alright, I have everything unwrapped, and as you can see, this Phoenix Models plane is absolutely gorgeous. No wrinkles in the covering. I mean, the covering job is perfect. The only complaint I've seen about it so far is, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. See those runs in the paint? Some runs in the paint for the wheel covering, but I'm sure those will be scratched up before we know it anyways, once we get flying. But other than that, it is a gorgeous plane so far. Alright, I got all the pieces put away that I didn't need. I'm going to get my stickers on, because those are usually easier to do at the start. And then we're going to start with the wings. Alright, as you can see, I got my sticker on there and on there. Then I put a sticker on the rudder, or tail section, and then I put 2 on the wing. I put the SU-31 and this Phoenix Model sticker here, and of course matching on the other wing. Alright, now the first step of this ARF is to cut away the covering over this hole right here, which is where the servo arm comes through to go to the control surface. Then you need to take these 2 little wooden pieces here of balsa and mount them to this back plate, or to this plate that pops out that they have taped down here. And once you get your servo mounted on that plate, you can run your wire through the wing with this handy piece of yarn here that the Phoenix company had installed in the ARF. And I thought that was really nice to be able to run your wires through instead of actually have to fish the wire through the wing like some ARFs have to. Alright, as you can see, I got the servo mounted and glued in position, so that way you can still use the rod here on this side. Well, I have the servo plates cut, or servos mounted in the servo plates. Next, all we have to do is screw those down and join the wing together. What we'll do is we're going to take a knife and take our time and cut that out all the way through, so that way we can get our tail mounted. Alright, you can see I got my slit cut here, and there was also one here in the bottom that needed to be cut out, so I cut that out while I was at it. Alright, I went through and I've removed the covering right here and right here on the tail section, and then also right here where it'll be sitting inside the plane, because that way the epoxy will have a better bond between the wood and the wood instead of the covering and the wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this all slid in here, centered up right, make sure everything's right, test fit everything, And once I'm sure that it's all right, I'm gonna lay epoxy in there and put the pieces in. Check my measurements before the glue dries, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a couple minutes. On this, there's a rudder hinge right there. I had to slice a spot here on the back to slide that rudder hinge in, and when I glue, I'm obviously going to want to glue that spot as well. Alright, I just got my tail section all glued in. It was kind of a pain, but it really wasn't too bad. Keep your paper towels and rubbing alcohol real close because it is very easy to get that epoxy everywhere. Don't be afraid to put a generous amount in there. Hopefully I got enough in mine. I'd hate to see my tail section fall off. Alright, I got one quick little tip for you. When you're using epoxy and trying to get it into a small area, like in this tail section here, you can see the area is not very big to be able to get like a stick or whatever else in there to get your epoxy spread around. And it can be really messy, but I found one way that works really well. If you take a straw and you cut it at like about a 45-degree angle, you can use it as a scoop and scoop up your epoxy and get it in there. And then if you're having trouble getting it into a certain spot, fill the end of the straw with epoxy, and then once you get it in there, blow through the straw and it'll shoot the epoxy out into that area. And it's a great little tool to get epoxy in places that's real hard to get to. Alright, I decided to skip past the servo installation until I get my engine mounted because I am just using your plain Jane 4.6 motor to set on the front of this, and the way it's got to sit on there is really cockeyed, and down below so your exhaust will come out the bottom of the plane like so. Well, until I 100% decide on how I'm going to run my throttle control and where I'm going to mount the servo in there, I'm going to get the engine mounted first. So I'll get this engine mounted, and then I'll put in the servos and the control arms, and I'll give you an update after that. Alright, I got my engine mounted on my plate, or on the mounting plate, and you can see I didn't take off the exhaust or anything yet because what I want to do is I want to get this exactly where I want it here, and to do this I'm going to have to know exactly where the exhaust is sitting. So I'm going to center this out on here the best I can, and once I figure out the perfect spot for it and holding the cowling over it, I'm going to draw a line around it and then drill my holes and mount the engine. Alright, I got my engine mounted on my plate, or on the mounting plate, and you can see I didn't take off the exhaust or anything yet because what I want to do is I want to get this exactly where I want it here, and to do this I'm going to have to know exactly where the exhaust is sitting. So I'm going to center this out on here the best I can, and once I figure out the perfect spot for it and holding the cowling over it, I'm going to draw a line around it and then drill my holes and mount the engine. Well, I got the engine mounted, got my landing gear on, which was just these 4 bolts. I got 3 servos in, and I got the tailpiece on. The tailpiece was just 2 bolts there, or 2 screws there, and then these 2 plastic pieces, and then 1 screw through here. So what she looks like sitting on the ground. I got the last finished up electrical work done, get my battery and gas tank mounted, and I'll do 1 wrap-up shot so you can see what it looks like all done. Well, there we go, the completed SU31 from Phoenix Models. It's a pretty easy kit to put together. I didn't really like how the engine mounted. Other than that, it's a great little kit. Hopefully get some flight video of it tonight.